YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video here. So we have an interesting report coming from Diana Rossini. She said that some teams have been poking around to see if 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk is available via trade. However, there are no indications that the 49ers are willing to move him. So obviously, before Brandon Aiyuk signed his massive 4-year, $120 million contract extension with the 49ers, there were teams out there that really wanted to trade for Brandon Aiyuk. The Pittsburgh Steelers were one of those teams. But obviously, a trade never happened. The 49ers eventually ended up paying Brandon Aiyuk that deal. And, everything kind of from there on out got swept under the rug. But now she's reporting that there's teams calling the 49ers, seeing if they'll trade him now that he got hurt. A couple days ago, there was a report that came out, and I made a video on this. If you guys haven't checked it out, definitely go do that. But a couple days ago, a report came out suggesting that there are executives within the 49ers organization that were never thrilled about giving Brandon Aiyuk $30 million per year on that massive contract that he signed. And then, not even midway through the season, Brandon Aiyuk tears his ACL and has, a lot of cartilage damage in that knee. I mean, he suffered a very, very severe injury against the Chiefs in the regular season. So now there are teams reaching out to the Niners wondering if they'll trade him now that he's coming off of an ACL injury. This report comes just a few days after it was reported that there are people upset within the 49ers organization about the contract extension that the Niners gave him. So this is very interesting, man, because obviously Brandon Aiyuk is a guy that in 2023 had a phenomenal season. And, he was Brock Purdy's number one target. He had that phenomenal catch in the NFC Championship game. And really throughout the 2023 season, I mean, Brandon Aiyuk was that guy within the 49ers offense. And, obviously he has this long standoff negotiation with the 49ers last offseason that eventually led to him signing that deal with the 49ers. But, I mean, it took forever to get that contract done. There's also people reportedly upset that in the manner that Brandon Aiyuk kind of handled those contract negotiations before signing his deal. So I definitely think that report's true. I definitely think there are people within the Niners organization that aren't thrilled that the Niners gave him what they did on his contract. So would it be enough for the 49ers to want to move him? I don't know. I don't think they would move him. They're going to be trading Brandon or Deebo Samuel. I don't expect them to also want to trade Brandon Aiyuk. But who am I? I mean, maybe the 49ers feel as if they made a mistake re-signing him. Maybe they do regret giving him $30 million per year. And maybe this could be a situation where they end up wanting to trade him. Very interesting report here from Diana Rossini. Again, I don't expect the 49ers to trade Brandon Aiyuk, but what a whirlwind of events that would be if they did end up trading him. Obviously, I would expect his, Brandon Aiyuk's compensation in a potential trade to be at an all-time low. I don't think they would get in return what they would have gotten before he signed the contract extension, especially knowing that he's coming off of this ACL injury, and he's likely not going to be ready at the start of next season. I mean, there's people out there that believe Brandon Aiyuk may not be ready to go and ready to get back out onto the field, like after the second half of the season, like midway through the second half of the season, after Thanksgiving and whatnot. So it's all up to Brandon Aiyuk, and I've said this in past videos, but it's all up to Brandon Aiyuk how soon he comes back. we're going to learn a lot about Brandon Ayuk as a player. We're going to learn a lot about his work ethic. And again, it's all up to him on how long this recovery process and this rehab process will take. So the hope is that he's on the field very quick. Um, but again, I mean, this could be a situation that takes a long time um, to kind of move past. I mean, this is a severe injury that Brandon Ayuk suffered. It's a massive knee injury. I mean, he had cartilage damage. There were tendons that were damaged in this ACL tear. This is a very, very serious ACL injury. So, would it be enough for the 49ers to kind of double think and be like, hey, you know what? We're not really proud of the way that he handled the contract negotiations. We kind of gave him more than what we should have gave him, and it might be in the best interest that we both kind of part ways. And let's see what we could potentially get for a trade with Brandon Ayuk. I mean, obviously, if they trade Brandon Ayuk, they better as hell be signing a guy like T Higgins or somebody. But I mean, honestly, if they were to trade Brandon Ayuk, and sign a guy like T Higgins for his replacement, I'm not going to be mad because I think T Higgins is a dominant wide receiver one type of guy. But at the same time, it doesn't seem like the 49ers will be willing to move off of Brandon Ayuk, but you never know. This is an intriguing offseason for the 49ers, the most important offseason that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have had since being here in San Francisco. So, I mean, could they? Could they explore opportunities of trading Brandon Ayuk? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. This is a very interesting report. I'm not shocked that teams are calling for Brandon Ayuk, but it's also pretty alarming that this came a few days after there was a report that came out about how some people within the 49ers organization aren't thrilled and never were thrilled on giving Brandon Ayuk $30 million a year. So could this be a telling factor that maybe that report was true and maybe teams are like, you know what? If they're not happy about it, let's at least call the Niners and see if they will potentially trade Brandon Ayuk. So I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing speculation out there, but it's definitely interesting the timing of this report coming out. So we will see what happens. Again, some teams are poking around to see if the 49ers would trade Brandon Ayuk, according to Diana Rossini of The Athletic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, go Niners, and I'll see you guys in the next one.